My name is Carrie, and I get a lot of questions about diastasis rectus abdominis. What that is a separation of the six-pack muscles, your rectus abdominis muscles, but it should be an abnormal separation of those muscles. There's always a tiny space between your two six-pack muscles, and normal is considered about ½ centimeter or the distance between your two knuckles. What causes the diastasis is really any situation that provides excessive repetitive forward pressure on the connective tissue of the abdominal wall. So things like constipation and bloating, overtraining the wrong muscles when you're doing sit-ups and other core work, all of these things can contribute to a diastasis. While pregnancy isn't necessarily a cause of this, because your body was designed to birth a baby and that connective tissue was designed to separate to accommodate your growing uterus and your growing baby, the problem becomes the pregnancy hormones, progesterone and relaxin, that are released during pregnancy that make the connective tissue all over your body a little bit more vulnerable. So it's not necessarily the pregnancy that's the problem, but perhaps the way we sit in the pregnancy, or the exercises that we choose to do in the pregnancy, or how we move directly afterwards when these tissues are really vulnerable. That connective tissue is almost like silly putty running down the center of your body. It's designed to separate just a little bit, but I'm going to get closer so you can see what happens when these tissues stretch beyond their anatomic capabilities. You can see how it starts to thin and get a little bit more opaque in spots. And if it continues to separate, it will form tiny little fissures or holes in the connective tissue. Now it's become a hernia, and this is important because your organs lie behind this connective tissue, so they're allowed to pouch out in to that opening. Now, even if you have a hernia, these exercises can still help you. Where it becomes a medical emergency is if that hernia has become strangulated by that connective tissue, and that will require some medical attention. Usually things like pain and tenderness are accompanied by those hernia symptoms. So, how to test for a diastasis? First and foremost, you want to slide your way onto the side whenever you're getting up and down from a lying down position. So one of the worst motions you can do is the jackknife position, like so, and getting up like so. It really overstrains that connective tissue. So instead, slide to your side, arms and legs together onto your back. Now you're going to keep your knees bent and your feet flat. I'm going to lift my shirt up so you can see where I'm testing, but I actually test people right through their shirts. So you're going to find your belly button, and you're going to come just maybe a centimeter above the belly button when you test. So right above the belly button, and my fingers are coming in like so, and the first thing you're going to do is relax your belly and let your fingers sink into that connective tissue between the two six-pack muscles. What you're looking for here is how far your fingers can sink down. We grade this shallow, medium, or deep, and it's hard to feel if you've never felt before, but deep would be your fingers sink all the way into that connective tissue and you start feeling a pulsing of your abdominal aorta. So get an idea for how deep the connective tissue is, or how deep the separation is, and then do not work your abs, but you're going to bring your chin up to your chest like you're doing a sit-up, and you're going to keep your shoulders down. So don't come up this far. If you've come up this far, those muscles naturally approximate and you won't get an accurate reading. So just head and shoulders up, and you're going to feel with your fingers how many fingers you can fit in between those two muscles. Now, if you don't feel the muscles, let yourself come up a little bit higher until you get an idea of where they are. Then lower your head back down and do it the right way. After you've tested there, you're going to test in two other spots. Halfway between your belly button and your sternum, you're going to do the same thing again, looking for the depth of the connective tissue, and then chin up to your chest, keeping your shoulders down. How many fingers can you fit between that space? And then same test between your belly button and your pubic bone. You're going to test one more time, looking again for depth of separation and how many fingers you can fit in between there. When you get up, roll to your side, and then arms and legs together into a sitting position. And there you have it.